What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish and Goals YouTube channel. Now, before we get to Phillip's interview, this is a deck list that he used to get top 8 at Oklahoma State's, and as he is another Donphan Hallelujah deck. And the thing I'm starting to like a lot about these Donphan Hallelujah decks is they're starting to play Ultra Ball just to help search out cards faster. I know decks used to play 3 or 4 Karina, but the Ultra Ball is really cool because you can Karina for an Ultra Ball or a Repeat Ball, and once you get an Ultra Ball in the early game, you can Ultra Ball away like a Teammates or Colress early, so that way you can Verse Seeker for later, which seems pretty cool. But as you see, he does play a 2-2 Silent Lab Fighting Stadium. And I asked about that, if he wants like more fighting stadiums, if the 2 Silent Labs was enough. But hopefully you enjoyed this interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish and Goals YouTube channel. Today we're doing another Station Question Answer video with Phillip. And Phillip, where are you from?
College Station, Texas.
Okay, and what states did you play at last weekend?
I played at Oklahoma.
Okay, and how did you do in Swiss?
I went 5-1-1 in Swiss, and I was the 3rd seed.
Okay, now what were some of the decks that you played against, and did you win or lose against them?
Let's see. I've got my rounds here. I played against like a random binder deck round 1, and they were just playing like Metagross EX and like Darkrai EX and stuff like that. Okay. And then I played against pretty legitimate decks the rest of the day. I played Virizion Genesect with Mew Seismitoad, Eviltal Seismitoad, Seismitoad Slurpuff, Swampert Empoleon Slurpuff, which is my only loss in Swiss. Eviltal Hard Charm Scoop Up Cyclone, which was my only tie, and then I finished the day against Virizion Genesect with Mew Seismitoad again.
Okay, so in top 8, when you're going against your person, were you like nervous or were you excited?
Well, I knew I was playing against like Seismitoad, Aromatisse, and I played the deck during during cities, and did pretty well with it. So I knew how the deck worked. It was just coming down to I knew they were going to go Seismitoad heavy or pretty aggressive with it, and so I just knew that I needed to get Robo Subs down and be kind of proactive on my first turn if I could, so that way I could avoid like the Seismitoad DCE start.
Okay, so what ended up happening in top 8?
Game 1, it was pretty back and forth at the beginning. My first turn, I was able to have a Hawlucha active, 2 Phanpy on the bench, and 2 Robosub on the bench. And I was able to play control game kind of there from the beginning. They got DCE, like Laser, Muscle Band on the first turn to KO my Hawlucha. But I was able to hit Donphan Strong Energy, and just be able to go into Robosub, and then from there be able to go into other Donphans or Hawluchas without getting one-shotted. It was pretty back and forth. About middle of the game is when I was able to wreck a clean Seismitoad for the knockout, and then I got ahead 2 prizes, and I was able to take it from there. Game 2, I opened Hawlucha and all tool cards with no supporters, and we played 2 turns, and I scooped. Okay. And then Game 3, I got up to a pretty early lead. I got up to, it was a 4-2 prize count, and we were, I had a Donphan on the field with a Strong Energy, a Bangle, and enough to wreck with a Fighting Stadium, and he had knocked out a Robosub previous turn, so I teammates for DCE and another Fighting Stadium because I had another Donphan on the bench that I would be able to wreck with on the next turn. So I wrecked his Seismitoad, clean Seismitoad for the knockout. He put up a Seismitoad into me to 2, and then knocked out my Donphan with a Laser. And then from there I drew a Lysander and an Ultra Ball and another card that didn't matter. And I just became a turn behind because I didn't hit an energy or any way to like really come back. And so I ended up, I had enough turns, I had enough energies to wreck 1 more turn if I had 1 extra turn. And so that came down to it because it was 2-1 prizes.
Okay. Well, still, top 8 is pretty good, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So you decided to play 1 Teammates in your deck. How helpful was that card?
It was really helpful, especially like during the late game. There were a couple times I drew it in the early game, and I usually just throw it away because I knew the 1 Teammates would be really good playing all the Robosubs that I played. And it, like in some games, it turned out to be really great. I was able to teammates for like Donphan Strong Energy or like Strong Energy Muscle Band or Silver Bangle or Fighting Stadium because I only played 2 Fighting Stadium. So teammates really became a way for me in the late game to grab Fighting Stadium if I hadn't saw it. But like as a one-of playing the VS Seekers, it turned out to be really clutch.
Okay. Now, you decided to play 2 Silent Lab. Were those helpful overall, or were they kind of dead stadiums?
In some matchups, they were kind of pointless. like I wouldn't even really say it was a good play against like Evil Tall, because like shutting down Darkrai isn't that big like to do against them, and since I wasn't playing lasers, shutting down Keldeo didn't really make a difference. The matchups that really saved me was the Virizion, Genesect, Mew, Seismitoad. Being able to shut off Red Signal proved to be like a huge swing in my favor for those matches.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you played 2 Ultra Ball and 1 Repeat Ball. Did you ever want more Repeat Ball and less Ultra Balls, or was that fine?
I can't say that I really Ultra Balled a whole lot during the day. If I did, it was usually at like a Halucha if I needed it. But the Repeat Ball was like awesome. 1 was the perfect number because like first turn I could Karina for a Phanpy and a Repeat Ball and have 2 Phanpys on the field already. And I there were a couple times where I had to Repeat Ball for like a Halucha because I didn't open a Phanpy. But I would say like that count was perfect because you could just Karina for whatever you needed.
Okay. Now, you went a 3 Muscle Band and 1 Silver Bangle. I know usually people play like a 2-2 split. Why'd you decide to up the Muscle Band about 1?
The Muscle Band with the Fighting Stadium just makes perfect damage. It's just convenient how it works out that way. And the Silver Bangle is really useful for like playing the 1. Most of the time I ended up attaching Halucha, especially like in the Darkrai Eviltal matchup. I could play Silent Lab to turn off Halucha's body, attach a Fighting Energy and a Silver Bangle, and then one-shot Darkrai.
Okay. Alright. So, after playing this list, would you make any changes to it, or do you think the list is pretty solid?
I think the list is pretty solid. I'm a really big fan of this list. Not playing all the like what I would consider clutter that most normal Don fans play, like the Dragons or Sigilyph or Wobbuffet. Like this list was just really straightforward, really consistent all day. I think I only had maybe 1 or 2 bad openings. One was against like the Toad Slurpuff, and the other one was like my second game of my top 8 match.
Okay. So, how many championship points does that put you at?
I'm at 275, so I'm 25 points away.
Okay. And have you filled up all your league challenges, or you still have empty spots?
I've gotten 10 points from League Challenge, so I can still get 80 more.
Okay. So, are you going to go to any regionals coming up?
I may go to Georgia. I know I'm pretty sure going to Kansas City.
Okay. So, I know Kansas City is like a month away, but have you decided if you're going to play Donphan again, or is there any other decks like piquing your interest?
I feel like Donphan's really solid. It's really consistent. I feel like it's coming into this year after Texas regionals. I felt like Donphan was definitely like a day 1 deck to play if you wanted to guarantee like day 2. As long as you don't hit like because like the deck doesn't have any really bad like auto losses or anything like that. Like it's got pretty fair matches across the board. But I'd say it's probably the most consistent deck I played all season compared to at Texas regional I played Pyroar, Seismitoad, and at Texas States, I played Eviltal with Seismitoad.
Okay. Now, I know if Atlanta is a whole different new format with the Roaring Skies, but do you think Donphan will still be good for that format, or do you think everything's going to change up?
I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, the Rayquaza is getting a lot of hype, and it has fighting resistance. So I don't know if Donphan's really that strong there. But I think there's some, like, Raichu can make a comeback, or even like just about anything as far as like bench space. I mean, we could see Executor get a little more deadly just by adding more utility to the bench and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be interesting about what becomes good after Roaring Skies comes out.
Okay. Now, do you want to give any shout-outs to anybody or anything?
I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. His name's Ahmed Ali. You interviewed him a couple weeks ago when he went to Arkansas. Him and Michael Feller, who also got top 8 at Oklahoma, my testing partners from College Station, and then all my friends in Houston that I test with whenever I go down there.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and congratulations on top 8.
Thank you.
Alrighty, man. Take care.
You too.
Alright, bye.